Okay. Okay. All right, I wasn't expecting that level of enthusiasm. But okay, it sounds like our shareholders, if I read between the lines, subtle as it is, are saying we should probably do some advertising. Okay, very well. All right.
Hi, Elon. Hi, Tesla. Thank you for everything. So my question is regarding, you recently added Steam to the car, and that's great. We can play video games. Is Tesla currently developing the ability for other parties to develop apps for the car? For example, if we can buy actually customizable themes for the operating system of the car, I think you can make some revenue there, like that space themes for the car or Lord of the Rings or stuff like that. Do you have any interest in that right now?
Well, I mean, the important. So I think the notion of having entertainment apps and whatnot becomes increasingly important as the cars achieve self-driving, because otherwise you can only really play games or watch movies or whatever when the car is stationary. Which if it's charging or whatever, then you can use it. But when it's at the point at which it's full self-driving, I think it's very much about entertainment and productivity. So I think that is something that might make sense in the future. But overwhelmingly, the focus right now for Tesla software, apart from improving safety, is achieving full self-driving, and then getting full self-driving to be much safer than human driving. And then once we achieve full self-driving, I think that there could be a lot of opportunity for apps and whatnot. But even in the car as it is today, for a Model S and X, we've made a sort of a full Steam integration. So you can actually just literally log on with a Model S or X with your Steam account and play any game that is on Steam, which is a lot of games, which is pretty wild. I think a lot of people don't know that. You can play with a keyboard and mouse. You can play with a joystick or controller. You can also play Netflix, YouTube, or anything else. I mean, for my little son X, he loves watching, actually loves watching rocket videos in the rear screen of the Model S and X. So yeah, so it is something that we will do long term. But one of the things, we already have a lot of stuff there, and we'll do more as self-driving becomes a reality. So.
Hey, Elon. I'm John, or Dr. Know-It-All on YouTube, and I don't know it all. But anyway, my question is, as you guys move completely or finish the transition in full self-driving from version 1.0 of the software to 2.0, what do you perceive of as the potential stumbling blocks after that? Because it seems like that's the major, kind of step change that needed to happen, and so you're almost done with that, and what happens after that? And also, please let me interview about full self-driving. I'll spend 2 hours talking about just that. So, thank you.
Well, one can really think about full self-driving as sort of a march of nines of reliability. So we need to get to the point where the probability of injury is lower than that of the average human driver, and then ultimately probability of injury is much lower. So even at the point at which the car is capable of driving itself, there's still actually a lot of work to do, because every year there's 1 million people that die in auto accidents, and I think probably everyone in this audience has friends and family that have died or been seriously injured in auto accidents, and for there's 1 million people that die. There's 10 million people roughly that are seriously, permanently injured, and so it matters that if we can get that down by an order of magnitude, there's 900,000 lives saved per year, maybe 9 million severe injuries prevented per year, and so that really, I think, morally has to be our primary goal. I guess I'm open to an interview on FSD. 2 hours is a long time, but Okay, okay. All right, I'll do an interview. It's got to be on Twitter, but sure. All right.
Hi, Elon. I'm Josh Phillips, long-term retail investor. My question's about battery-grade lithium supply in the next 10 years. Lithium experts all agree that mines are just not coming online fast enough to meet battery supply. And actually, Drew Baglino pointed this out recently. Some mines take 10 years plus to be permitted. And even GM has actually announced like huge lithium deals that will like secure away supply from the rest of the industry. So what's Tesla's plans to get more supply of lithium at the mine level outside of refining, but also at a deeper level than a traditional offtake? Because as we know, he who controls the spice controls the universe.
Sure. I actually think that the industry analysis is incorrect, and the constraint is fundamentally that of processing. Now, our refinery in Corpus Christi that we're building is primarily oriented towards refining spodumene, of which there is a truly vast amount in the world. I think about 3/4 of our lithium comes from Australia. And frankly, you could increase the rate at which the mines are operating, and the limiting factor is not how fast can you mine, but how fast can you process. So the mines are only going to produce ore at the rate at which refineries can handle the ore, or it's pointless. So I think my opinion, and obviously I could be wrong about this, but is that it's really not about the lithium ore. Lithium is extremely common. Lithium is everywhere. In every country's got lithium. It's not like oil. So lithium is one of the most common elements on Earth. But taking the lithium ore and refining it to battery grade is extremely difficult because the purity levels required for a battery are extremely high. If you have even a small impurity, then you will degrade the life of the cell dramatically. So you need ultra-pure battery grade lithium, and that's why our focus is on refining as opposed to mining. Thank you.
Hi, Elon. Thanks. It's a great time here. You spoke about safety in your presentation of the vehicles, and I just want to say I'm thankful to you for building such a safe vehicle because I'm here today with my son. We drove in his Tesla 3 over here that he replaced with the one that he got rear-ended significantly in, and it destroyed the car. But we're able to be here today, so
great.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So, what's your way to look? There? Okay.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Austin Gregory. I'll ask about this because I don't think it gets near enough love. But I was wondering if there are any updates on the next-gen Roadster, actually. Yeah, I know it's sort of like the cherry on top and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You guys have a lot on your plate, as you've said before. But if there's any updates on like the release timeline, all that stuff, the SpaceX package, maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Thanks.
Totally fair and reasonable question. But where is that thing? We expect to complete the engineering and design of the next-gen Tesla Roadster this year, and hopefully start production. This is not a commitment, but hopefully start production next year. So, but. It is like as you alluded to. It's not even the icing on the cake. It's the cherry on the icing on the cake. So I wouldn't expect it to be like. It's definitely not going to be a huge contributor to revenue. It will be a modest contributor to profitability, but it will be sick. So, and. There's some value to me running two companies because the next-gen Roadster will have the SpaceX option package. So that'll make it truly next level. So.
Hey, Elon. Eva McMillan here. First of all, I want to thank you for making the absolute best, safest, and most fun cars in the whole world. Cars in Florida, we are seeing many, many more cars in Florida than a year ago.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, cars are doubled. So the question is, we all want Tesla insurance.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
it
yeah.
coming?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Actually, that's a great question. Okay, Zach says it's coming later this year. But I have to tell you, like, one of the thorniest things in the United States is car insurance, or insurance in general, because it's a state by state, and every state's got different rules and regulations. So that's why it's not like rolled out nationwide. I think really there should be one national standard for insurance, especially car insurance. I think it would improve the cost effectiveness of car insurance. But our intent is to roll out nationwide and ultimately internationally. But there is a staggering amount of paperwork that is needed to get it done. But as Zach said, we expect to offer Tesla insurance in Florida later this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Elon. Thank you, Elon. Alexandra Mertz. I am Tesla Boomer Mama. Very happy to be here.
All right.
So very grateful to the Tesla team and you, of course. Just want you to know we love the emotions every day, joy and less joy, but we're there. Shareholders, it's not easy. We're here not because it's easy, but because it's hard. So my question initially was on in-house financing. You already answered that, and I want to congratulate you to the double investment grade rating. But then I asked my Twitter subscribers, I'm sure you're going to appreciate, what they wanted to bring forward.
Sure.
And that question made the cut. Here we go. Automotive, including SAS, peak margin, the same for energy. What number and by when do you have the best Elon guess that we get there?
Sorry, I'm not sure I fully understand the question.
So this is the peak margin for automobile,
Oh, yeah.
including SAS and energy, and by when will we get there? Your guess. I know nobody will sue you.
Sorry, what's SAS?
Well, software as a service.
Oh, okay. You mean self-driving?
FSD,
Yeah.
what's going to be the top automobile margin? And
Yeah. I mean, what I was saying earlier is that at the point at which you have a truly autonomous vehicle that can drive around with no one in it, the utility of the vehicle, I think, as a rough guess, is probably 5 times what it is today, because people will drive an average of an hour and a half a day, perhaps, so 10 hours a week. But if the car is autonomous, it can probably, just speculation, but it probably can operate for a third of the hours in the week, which would mean 50 or more hours, thus a 5-fold increase. But the car costs the same.
Sure, I understand, but what is going to be the margin for Tesla then? Because you're obviously thinking you're going to sell much more FSD then, right? You may have a system in place of robotaxis. You may have a cut with fleets. So did you do any projections what the automotive peak margin for Tesla could be in 2 years, 5 years, and the same for energy?
Well, I mean, this is definitely, we're in sort of highly speculative territory here. But obviously, if you've got a car that costs the same and has, say, I don't know, a 20 or 25% margin, and suddenly is able to be used 5 times as much, then you might have 80% margins, and the revenue would increase several-fold. That's why I say it's probably going to be the biggest asset value step change in history of Earth. Yeah. And energy does not have simply does not have such an increase in asset utilization. So I would expect energy to remain at sort of a 25%-ish to 30% margin.
All right, so you said ask the tough questions. You're still good, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. First of all, though, as a family man, I just want to say there's a couple of things like a loop for tether of a of a car seat going through the headrest, which would be super helpful. There's a couple other things that would be really nice. The Model Y is the only one you can do that in today. Maybe we could fix that. But when we're thinking about 4680 battery cells, should we be thinking about the efficiency and the performance we're getting today? Or is there some updated timeline path that we could see closer to battery day presented efficiency, performance that we can look to in the future?
Well, I think, first of all, it's really important to express the difficulty of, for Tesla to go from nothing to making a battery cell that we aspire to be better than any other battery cell on Earth, even when compared to companies where the only thing they do is make a battery cell, is obviously not a trivial exercise. That said, we do see a path to very high energy density and higher energy density and lower costs than anything else out there. But it's a hard path. It's a very hard path. Normally it would be absurd for companies to attempt such a thing. And no other car company is really attempting to do anything like this in a serious way. So I guess technically BYD, because they started out as a battery company, but yeah, so it's a very difficult thing to do. But I think we are tracking to success in that regard. So.
Hey, Elon. First of all, thank you for undoubtedly making the world a better place for my son to live in.
Thank you. It's kind of you say.
Once Cybertruck is fully ramped in Austin, what is the target production? And also, there's some rumors that you're thinking about stepping down as CEO. Please say it ain't so.
It ain't so. Yeah. Yeah, so I think Tesla's going to play an important role in AI and AGI, and I think I need to oversee that to make sure it's good. So, because that's a thorny problem if there ever was one. I think generally people do not, or very few people, even in the AI community, do not appreciate just how much capability Tesla has in AI. It's by far the most advanced real-world AI. There's no one even close. Reality has the most degrees of freedom. So I got to make sure that's good. So, and you were saying something?
Cybertruck fully ramps
Oh,
here in
yeah.
Austin. Target production.
So, as I said,